sadness wrapped around a frame. Would you see yourself? Someone that you used to be before you was buried in responsibility.
Nie, to moją wątką też.